This episode of FineScale Modeler's new product rundown features MPC's Big Eagle, Kinetic's 1/48 scale AMX-T, a resin M-60P APC from Triglav Models, and Tamiya's Japanese destroyer Kagero.
Hey, and welcome to the new product rundown, FineScale Modeler's twice-monthly review of the latest kits and accessories. I'm Elizabeth Nash.
And I'm Aaron Skinner. We start today with a kit I am really excited to see, and that's MPC's 22-inch Eagle transporter from the 1970s TV show Space 1999.
A Jerry Anderson production, the sci-fi series follows the adventures of 311 humans trapped on an errant moon set adrift by a nuclear explosion.
Barbara Bain and Martin Landau headed the cast, but the Eagle transporters were arguably the show's real stars.
The modular design is very utilitarian and influenced many a sci-fi ship to come.
Fans of the show have waited a long time for a big plastic kit of the Eagle.
MPC delivers in spades with this 1/48 scale kit. It's half the size of the Hero filming miniature.
All of the complex framework, including the mechanical bays that join the command section, engine unit, and support the service module, is open.
The long center struts have two-part sides and separate cross members.
A detailed rear wall and two pilots grace the cockpit.
There's not much else there, but that's all that can be seen through the clear windshields.
Windows are also supplied for the service module. That comprises floor, roof, walls, and bulkheads with doors.
Out back is the engine section with plumbing, tanks, and 4 large engine bells.
I love the way the bells are molded so that there are no awkward seams to fill along the sides. Plus, the bells are definitely round.
Finally, there are outriggers for the landing gear. The box is attached to the multi-part legs with springs for the shock absorbers so that they may be operated.
The decal sheet provides markings and stencils for the spaceship.
It also has all the black areas around the windows of the command section and rockets.
The sides of the interior tray have color diagrams and color callouts. They include 3 options for the service section: passenger, VIP, and rescue.
This looks like a terrific kit that will have fans over the moon, if they can find where it is after the nuclear explosion.
MPC's parent company, Round 2, has announced 2 detail sets for this kit. The deluxe accessory set has turn metal engine barrels and shock absorbers. The small metal parts set has all the RCS thrusters.
Everything you need for a great-looking Eagle.
Next, we have a terrific 1/48 scale kit from Kinetic, the AMX-T.
This is a two-seat version of the AMX, a light ground attack aircraft.
Designed in the 1980s, it was built by a consortium of Italian and Brazilian aerospace manufacturers.
Almost 200 aircraft are in service with the Italian and Brazilian Air Forces.
That includes about 40 of the Dash T, the 2-seat trainer version represented by this kit.
Surface detail on the smooth gray parts is crisp with recessed panel lines and rivets.
The squat fuselage's nose is separate with optional parts for the Italian and Brazilian versions.
The cockpit has multi-part ejection seats, instrument panels with molded details, joystick, throttles, pedals, and coamings for both positions.
The same level of detail extends to the jet pipe and landing gear,
including the big bay at the center of the plane. Full intakes extend to the engine's front fan.
The intake lips are single-piece items, making cleanup a snap.
All of the separate control surfaces are posable, including optional parts for the slotted flaps.
A small photo etch fret provides some exterior vents, the frame for the HUD, and more. The clear parts look terrific and include 2-part canopy, lights, and the heads-up display.
Weapons and fuel tanks abound, but the instructions show only the 580 and 1100-liter tanks, an Orpheus recce pod, and sidewinders being used, so check references.
The beautifully printed cartograph decals and the color diagrams show 2 options: an Italian AMX-T with colorful tail markings and a Brazilian A1B.
The AMX isn't very big, but Kinetic has crammed it full of detail.
It's perfect if you want to build something a little different.
Now here's a bit of an oddball subject from a new manufacturer, Triglav Models, the 1/35 scale OT M-60P.
Which is an armored personnel carrier built in Yugoslavia in the 1960s and 70s.
This multimedia kit represents the later upgraded version. The vehicle was largely obsolete by the early 90s when Yugoslavia began breaking up.
By that time, more than 800 had been produced. This is the first kit of this vehicle and comes from a Slovenian company.
The resin castings are pretty nice.
The main hull is a single piece with cutouts for the hatches.
The instructions give tips for cleaning up the openings, as well as construction ideas,
Resin is also used for the road wheels and suspension arms.
as well as some hatches, periscopes, and a lot more.
There are 3 resin crew figures. 2 are just from the waist up, the third is full length.
Photo-etched metal is used for the fenders and supports. More hatches, vents, drive sprockets, and periscope guards.
Individual metal track links with wire, a la Friul models, add traction to the model.
Wire, string, and a few other bits round out the parts.
A small decal sheet provides stencil numbers for the hull. The instructions are provided on a CD.
This is not a kit for beginners, but if you're up for a challenge, Triglav's M-60P will reward you with a different model. Finally, we set sail with Tamiya's 1/350th scale Kagero.
This destroyer gave its name to a class of Japanese warships that entered service shortly before World War II.
The ship itself escorted the Pearl Harbor attack fleet, took part in the Battle of Midway, and then began delivering supplies.
Those runs took it to Guadalcanal, where it was involved in the Battle of Tassafaronga. In that battle, torpedoes launched from destroyers damaged 3 American warships and sank a 4th.
Heavily damaged by a mine on May 7, 1943, the Kagero was hit by Allied aircraft and sank.
Tamiya released another Kagero-class destroyer, the Ukikaze, in 2008.
This kit shares many parts with that kit, but this represents the early version with fewer anti-aircraft guns.
The model can be built either full hull or waterline by trimming the interior supports.
Surface detail looks good for the scale. The gun and torpedo turrets rotate thanks to polycaps under the deck.
Optional barrels allow the main guns to be posed up or down.
Superstructured decks have fine railings and portholes.
Funnels, boats, masts, davits, and other small details are very finely molded.
A small photo-etched fret has ladders, the underside of an upper deck, and other details.
There's a stand to display the full hull option.
A small decal sheet provides hull names and displacement markers. A separate sheet of thin paper has Japanese naval ensigns.
Another fine kit from Tamiya.
Look for a review of the Eagle in an upcoming issue of FineScale Modeler magazine.
And you can see more new products in the February issue, on sale January 5th.
Thanks for visiting FineScale.com.
And happy holidays to all of our viewers around the world. We'll see you next year.
Nope, and he's down, ladies.
Show Don Baker. That was a great reference. Thank you, sir. Show Don Baker his mittens. With Vin Diesel as sidekick, Fluffy.